Sag women. These two usually start out like a house in fire and then end with ashes. I see the attraction just like I do with all sister signs, because these two are sister signs. They're like two sides of the same coin in astrology. Gemini and Sagittarius are. I see the attraction. I see why they're attracted to each other. I see why this is fun for the both of them, but there isn't enough there for this to last. Because Gemini needs like levity, you know, and Sagittarius needs passion. And Gemini doesn't have passion as they have multiple interests. And Sagittarius doesn't have levity. Even though they seem extroverted and easygoing, they're actually quite intense because of their spiritual, deeply spiritual nature. So I think that might be a weight for Gemini to carry over time, because Sagittarius, even though they seem childlike, is actually quite serious when you get inside the house. And Gemini is not really interested in that kind of heavy energy from Sagittarius 24/7. I've seen these couples work seldom. It's not, that doesn't mean it's impossible. If there's some other placements that make it suitable, it can work. But usually it's like, you know, fire, air. It's like a big fire and it's exciting. It's like nothing either of them have ever experienced. And it feels like they're on top of the world and they can't wait to experience this magic. And then like just after they burn it all down, it's all like to the ground, and then it's ashes and there's nothing left to burn, because there's no pacing this partnership. It's very fast paced because of Mercury's energy. It's very chaotic, you know, with Jupiter's energy. It's very expensive. It's very grand, you know, it's fast paced, it's grand, it's expensive. And when you start a relationship at this level, so big and so wide, the only other place it can go is so small and so non-existent, as opposed to starting a relationship at this level, which is, I don't know you, so I'm not going to pretend to know you. So I'm going to take my time to dissect what I'm learning about you. And then hopefully as time goes on, we can get bigger, bigger, and bigger. But these two start here, and it's really hard for them to regress to here and be happy with it, because now they know what it's like to be here. It's almost like the relationship is on crack cocaine with these two. And unfortunately, crack cocaine is not a sustainable habit. So next one, my boyfriend is a Gemini sun, a Sagittarius moon, and Gemini rising. Why does he lie so much? Okay, so Gemini sun, Sag moon, and Gemini rising. Because he likes fantasy. Gemini is a creative thinker, and they're also a creative communicator. Gemini lies a lot because they like twisting the truth. Because it's fun. It's fun for them. They don't think about the emotional impact it's having on you. They're just thinking about like what they can get away with. And it's fun to see what they can get away with. And a lot of times they don't think that people have figured them out. They actually think they're the smartest person in the room a lot of times. They don't think that people know and people see through their stuff a lot of times. So a lot of times they're just doing it to see like what sticks. They're doing it to see if you'll call them out on it or not. So with Gemini, like everything is a game. Like Gemini is a kid. They're like a 7-year-old, astrologically speaking. So everything is a game. Gemini just likes to be having fun. They need to be having fun, and they love fun in their relationship. So it's not that they're trying to be mean-spirited. It's that they're just trying to like have fun with words and have fun with ideas. And they want to do that at all times. And they don't really know like what's sensitive and what isn't, like what should be played with and what shouldn't. Like these are things they haven't learned yet. That when you lie to the person that you're dating, it breaks trust, it ruins relationship. Like they haven't learned all these things yet in this life, you know, in this spiritual journey that they're on. So they take the same approach to everything. That's why I always say, like, you need to know what sign you're best with, depending on the setting. Like, for me personally, I love Gemini in a creative setting. There's nobody else I would rather be dealing with when it comes to creativity than Gemini. But as far as, like, personal love relationship, I know I couldn't do it because I have too much Capricorn in my chart. And I need, like, somebody that means what they say and says what they mean. And that's not Gemini, unfortunately. So it's about like recognizing like what energy does that sign carry and where's the best place for me to use that energy. You know, Gemini does well with other people who don't take words so seriously, other people who don't take ideas so seriously, other people that can like this today and not like it tomorrow, other people that are fluid, you know, that don't get too attached to anything. um so if you're somebody that's like very serious and you get attached and words mean things to you and you like to hold on to the words that people speak and you want people to mean what they say when they speak, then Gemini is not the person for you, because they will drive you insane. And they're not even trying to drive you insane. That's just a reaction they'll have on you. Or you decide if a fire sign is for you, these are the things you need to know. And failure to learn these things is going to create issues in your relationship. Because a fire sign is simply not going to be in a relationship where they're not happy. Period. Because it's about passion. So you got to bring that passion every time. Like DJ Khaled, he's a Sagittarius. Do you see that energy DJ Khaled has? Quote, his statement is, "We the best." What does that tell you? And another one, yeah, what does that tell you? We the best. You're never going to make me think I'm less than what I am. You're never going to convince me that I deserve less than what I know I deserve. Breakups are tough, but I get over it and I move on. Because at the end of the day, guess what? I love me more. And I'm never going to allow my love for you to allow me to diminish myself to a level where I do not recognize myself. Ever. Because I love me more. I'm never going to not love me more. Because that is my job. My job is to keep me safe, keep me alive, keep me respected, keep me honored, keep me dignified. That's my job. That's why I'm here, to take care of me. That's why I'm in this body. So yeah, if you can't handle all of that, just say that, okay? But what you're not going to do is play these games with us, because we are not with the bullshit. None of us. Never have been, never will be. We come at you direct. We come at you correct. One thing about us, you'll always know where you stand with us, because we don't have time for the petty games. We don't have time to be playing manipulative games. Like, for what? Guess who's not giving themselves attention while I'm wasting my time playing petty games with you? Guess who is not getting the attention they deserve? Me. I could be putting that energy into myself. So why would I want to give that to you? I mean, Tina Turner straight left America and decided, you know what? Racism? Fuck that. I don't want to deal with that anymore. I'm just going to move to Switzerland and I'm never coming back. This is a young woman from small town Tennessee who was born in 1930s. And she had that kind of courage to make that kind of a decision. And she legit never came back. And Switzerland is beautiful. I've never been, but every time I see pictures, I'm just like, oh, I want to go. Yeah, she just moved. And that was it. She wasn't an American anymore. She found the courage to divorce that man, found the courage to create a career for herself after the divorce, after her life fell apart, and rebuild her career. Try to make them as serious as you. Don't try to judge them for not being as depressed as you about the state of the world. Just take them as they are. And if you want to teach them some things that can enhance the depth of their connection to the world, the depth of their compassion for humanity, and the depth of like their collective impact, because Leo has that force. You know, the sun is so bright and so strong. Like, it's so strong that we can't even get close to it without burning to our death. Literally, that's how powerful the sun is. And Leo's the only zodiac sign that's ruled by the sun. The only. They're a special breed, and that's why a lot of people are jealous of them, and a lot of people don't understand them and don't even try either. They just think Leo's shallow, Leo's selfish, Leo's self-involved, and that's it. And there's so many more layers to them than that. These are the things that you need to know before you decide to go on that journey. It's highly rewarding, you know, if you're a good connection, because your life is never going to be boring. There's going to be a lot of laughter, a lot of generosity, a lot of genuine kindness. But yeah, you're going to have to work extra hard, because they're never going to accept the bare minimum. So if you want to come, better come correct, or don't come at all, because you might get embarrassed. Because remember, we don't have any filter. Okay? Like the children are closer to the kingdom of God, is what Jesus says. What he was talking about there is the fact that children have faith, children have joy, children have blind optimism, children trust the world, they trust the universe. You know, they don't take anything seriously. Even when they get upset, they get over things very quickly. You know, they don't hold grudges for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And above all, they play a lot. They like to have a good time. And what I've noticed, you know, in my experience as a healer, is that when people are able to, oh, thank you, Roberta G, for my cat. It's very sweet. When people are able to hold on to their child energy, they are more creative. They laugh a lot. They have a lot of fun. They don't mind making a fool of themselves. They don't mind being cringe, you know, as long as they're having a good time, because they understand that this life is so short and there's no reason to stress. Someone said, my dad is an Aquarius and he's the leader of the cheaters, 73 years old now. Wow. So this person is clearly not living in alignment, because Aquarius is a very truthful zodiac sign when they're healed. In fact, Aquarius hates lies and pretense so much that oftentimes their honesty is kind of ruthless. So Leah said, how do you get past commitment issues? I've understood it because he was insecure, so I did not take it personally. I don't think you're supposed to get past it. It's either that person is ready for that level of commitment that you're seeking, or they're not. And if you're on different journeys with that, that's okay. You cannot rely on other people to take care of you. You know why? You want to know something? Let me tell you why. Because everybody in your life, no matter how much they love you, at one point or another is going to let you down. Did you hear that? They're going to disappoint you. They're going to fall short of those expectations you have. I don't care how much they love you, because they're not perfect people, just like you. So if you don't know how to be all right with yourself, regardless of what other people are doing, you're always going to be waiting for them to validate your worth. Do you see what I'm saying? So whenever they treat you poorly and they make you feel worthless, you're going to walk away from that thinking, he's right. I am worthless. He's right. It's really hard to get a Sagittarius to date you. Honestly, Sagittarius is one of the hardest signs to date, because they don't like commitment in general, period. Because Sagittarius is very fearful of feeling caged in. Like, that's like their deepest fear, of being like trapped. I don't know why we're like this, but that's how we are. Like, our brains, like, we don't fear Armageddon, you know, we don't fear the apocalypse, but we fear being trapped. That's like our biggest fear. So Sagittarius naturally is fearful of commitment because they're afraid of not being their true selves in partnership. That's really the root of that fear. When Sagittarius finds the ideal partner for them, then they don't have that fear anymore. But until that time comes, they're very much so afraid of commitment, because they don't want to erase themselves. They don't want to lose themselves. They don't want to forget themselves. They don't want to be untrue to who they are, right? Simply because they're in partnership. It's really important to them that they be who they are, that they be authentic, that they feel free. And this is a sign that is insistent upon their freedom. And that is why it's hard to bag a Sagittarius and it's hard to keep a Sagittarius. So I'm curious to know, like, what bags of trick a Taurus woman would have that would keep a Sagittarius entertained for a long time. I don't know, because Taurus kind of likes the same tricks. You know, they like what they know. They like what they like. And they're not really trying to find out about what they don't know and what they don't like. Just going off of sun sign, you know, obviously if I was looking at a whole chart, I could tell you a little bit more, you know, because the sun sign doesn't tell us a whole lot. But I'm speaking basically about like what is the general disposition of that main sun sign. You know, my mother, as an example, is a sun sign Taurus, but her chart is filled with other energies that are more air-based. So anybody who doesn't like know her well probably won't be able to guess, because she's outgoing, she's social, she loves art, She loves to dance. In fact, that's how she met my dad. She was dancing. He was dancing. That's how they met. She loves to dance. She likes to have parties. She likes to have a good time. She likes to learn languages. She loves cooking. She loves art. Like my mom gives Libra energy, very much so, but she's a Taurus. So it's not just based on your sun sign. It's also about, the totality of your chart. The main thing with Taurus that fascinates me really is their fixation. Like I was telling you, the first boy who ever liked me was a Taurus when I was like 15. I'm still fascinated with his fixation. It's like, obviously since 15 I came out of the closet, and he knows, like he knows that I'm in relationships with women. Like I remember actually like meeting up with him years later, with a woman, and like the three of us having lunch, and he's still fixated. Mind you, he's gone on to like get married and has a wife and kids, but he's still fixated. It's like Tauruses are like, I admire the fixation, because Sagittarius are not like that. Like if you don't entertain me in like 2.5 seconds, I'm bored. I'm moving on. Like I'm definitely never chasing anybody. That's number one. Nobody's worth my time to chase, because I'm not desperate to be in a relationship. I'm fine by myself. So if I'm in a relationship with you, it's because you're worth the time and the energy, and that's why I'm there, because I generally want to learn from you and grow through this partnership. But as far as like Sagittarius chasing you, no, I'm not doing that. And I get bored very easily. Like if you're not talking about anything meaningful, you're not trying to do different things, you're just like trying to like waste time until you die. Like I'm not interested in that. You can go do that with somebody else. Get somebody else to do it, That's my ultimate energy. That's Sagittarius energy. Get somebody else to do it. I'm not interested. I'm not desperate for this. I don't desperately need this to feel like myself. So the idea of me like being stuck on my first crush when I'm like well into my 50s is like fucking insane. I can't even imagine that. Like, dude, haven't you lived like life? Like you got married, you got kids, and you're still like obsessed with me? Like get a life. Like switch your lane. Like change your mindset. Like what's happening here? Like what is going on in your brain that you think that the girl that you met at 15 is still the same person in your 40s, and somehow like I'm still interested in who you are? Like I didn't even know who I was at 15. No, I don't stop liking women because you came around. That's not how it works, okay? So no, and no, I'm not interested, So move on with your life, and you have a wife and you have kids, so go ahead and enjoy that. Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Aries, and rising in Virgo, as well as Venus in Libra. Interesting. I always feel bad for people that have like a Scorpio and Aries mix in their top six, because I know that is a lot of energy. It's a lot of destructive energy. And if you don't know how to channel it, you're going to self-destruct, because all these energies want to do is destroy things. And oftentimes, if they don't have something to focus on, they will destroy themselves in the process. It's hard having Scorpio by itself or Aries by itself. So when you put them together, yikes. And then you add Virgo to that, who's super critical, who's never happy because it's never good enough. And then you add like the delusional Venus and Libra to the mix. Yikes, this is difficult. Yeah, this is tough. How has life been, Ruby? This looks tough. Especially that Moon in Aries, because Moon in Aries is very impulsive. Like it doesn't think things through. It's very demanding. It's very needy. It's very argumentative. It's very angry. It has a lot of temper tantrums. It's very irrational. And then you have Scorpio Sun, who thinks that everything they feel is right. So they feel vindicated in whatever approach they choose to take. And that rising in Virgo is good because it gives you like this kind of clean presentation, so people don't see all the mess that's hiding behind. So that's good. And Venus is Libra is good too, because it softens some of that too. It makes it a little bit softer. So I think rising and Venus in this case actually soften that presentation, but that Sun in Scorpio and Moon in Aries is very challenging mix. Oh, and thank you for all my roses. Thank you so much. So sweet. All right. I'm a Scorpio with a Sagittarius that I feel is too weak for me. He's not deep enough for me. So the Sagittarius is not deep enough for you, the Scorpio. I can see that. I don't think a Sagittarius could ever be deep enough for a Scorpio. So yeah, I could see how that would be an issue. I don't recommend these two being together in terms of like a couple type situation. They're just too different. They'll want different things. The way they operate is different. Their viewpoint is different. The things they need to feel safe is different. Like those two are just too different. I think Scorpio is better with another water sign who understands their emotional depth. And Sagittarius is better with another fire sign who understands their need for passion, or an air sign who understands their need for levity. Because, Sagittarius needs fun. They need a lot of laughter. And Scorpio needs like depression. They need a lot of darkness. So they're not the same at all. The things that get you off and that get you excited are not the same. So I don't even know how these two got together. It must have been over something traumatic, because there's no reason why these two should be together. I don't get it. They're just not, it doesn't make sense. Like what would they have in common? Yeah, you probably should look for a water sign to be deeper. If you're wanting somebody to go deeper with you, you need to look for a water sign. I think a Cancer would be good for you, or Pisces. Pisces is the deepest sign. So yeah, go for that. But yeah, Sagittarius is not known for their emotional depth. So I would say X nay on that.